For decades, psychology has suggested a straightforward motivation for our behavior. We seek pleasure to survive. This model views pleasure as a reward for securing resources, reducing pain, or regulating our emotional state. When we operate within this survival paradigm, our default response to any emotional discomfort is purely regulatory. We ask how we can reduce our anxiety, manage a difficult feeling, or return to baseline of safety. Yet, this explanation struggles to account for experiences that do not directly contribute to our biological safety or social standing. Consider how a piece of instrumental music can move a listener to tears, or how dancing alone in a room can offer a sense of liberation that has no external witness and yields no tangible reward. This is visible in the solitary act of creation. A person playing a piano in an empty warehouse may feel a sense of fulfillment that exceeds the satisfaction of public validation. These moments suggest that human drives extend beyond the management of pain or the preservation of the body. They reveal a different kind of pleasure that doesn't fit the standard survival model. The psyche is not only a machine trying to regulate its internal tension, it is an architecture seeking to reveal itself. This hidden agenda is expression, the movement of the invisible internal self stepping out into the visible world. Art serves as a physical vessel for this movement. A song, for example, acts as the medium where the internal meets the external. The music does not create the feeling of grief or joy from scratch. Instead, the song gives a formless emotion a concrete shape, making the internal state recognizable to the person experiencing it. This is a translation process. An abstract intuition becomes language. An internal impulse becomes physical movement. The pleasure we feel in these acts occurs because a dormant part of our identity has stepped into reality. By giving the feeling form, we make a hidden part of ourselves visible. Expression changes the goal of our emotional life. We move from asking, "How do I feel better?" to asking, "What form does this feeling want to take?" We can view this through the Emotional Operating System, or EOS. This architecture categorizes why we seek pleasure. The baseline tier is regulating pleasure, reducing tension, managing anxiety, and returning us to safety. Above that is expanding pleasure. This tier introduces novelty, play, and new possibilities. At the apex is expressing pleasure. This drive allows the self to become visible, externalizing what was once trapped inside. Attraction acts as the spark for this system. Whether it's a creative pull or a deeply human connection, attraction serves as a mirror and a catalyst, inviting dormant emotional structures to wake up and move. This distinguishes expression from validation. Validation is an external force. It is the world looking at you and saying, "I see you." Expression is an internal eruption. It is the self declaring, "I am here." Because validation cannot replicate this internal movement, 30 minutes of pure creation often leaves a person more alive than a week of external approval. We often prioritize managing our history and regulating our current anxieties. However, true aliveness requires the movement of life through us. Keeping emotional potential trapped inside leads to stagnation. In contrast, making that potential real provides a profound sense of liberation. This need for expression is why art and music outlast the collapse of entire civilizations. The drive to make the invisible visible is a permanent fixture of the human experience. We see this in children, who possess an instinctive need to create and express themselves long before they learn to perform for an audience. Expression is the primary way we experience aliveness. It is not a luxury, but the non-negotiable architecture of our psychology. This suggests that "who am I?" may not be the most useful question to ask. The deeper question is, what wants to be expressed through me? Our greatest pleasure isn't getting what we want, but finally becoming visible to ourselves.